Yeah, but you're all dark and twisty inside.
Dark and twisty.
I'm not happy and bubbly. I'm dark and cloudy.
If I murdered someone, she's the person I'd call to help me drag the corpse across the living room floor.
At Dark and Twisties, we know that some people don't particularly like the episodes containing banter.
So for those who prefer a more serious retelling, we bring you Dark and Twisty Minis. The following may contain graphic content, so listener discretion is advised. On the evening of January 12, 2004, 27-year-old Terrance Williams headed to a party at a coworker's house. Due to a previous DUI, he didn't have a driver's license, along with the registration had been expired. But since he wasn't able to find a ride, he decided to take the risk. He called his roommate Jason that evening before he left to advise him of his plans and that he would be home after the party. But as Jason woke up the next morning and noticed that Terrance still wasn't home, he contacted the Williams family to see if they had heard from him. But unfortunately, nobody knew where Terrance was. The Williams family went to the police station to file a missing persons report before they headed out to look for Terrance. During their search, they were able to track down Terrance's vehicle, which had been towed from a nearby memorial cemetery after being cited for obstructing traffic. The Williams family assumed that Terrance was in custody and headed back to the police station to find out more information. Deputy Steven Calkins of the Collier County Sheriff's Department was the responding officer who signed the report for the vehicle to be towed, but there was no other incident report or arrest in connection with that vehicle. Terrance's mother, Marcia Williams, contacted cemetery employees, and they told her that they saw Calkins pull that vehicle over and asked the driver to step out. Employees stated that Calkins patted down the man before he was detained and placed into the back of his police car. Before leaving, Calkins asked the employees if he could leave the vehicle there until he was able to get it moved, which they had agreed to, and Calkins left shortly after that, with the driver of the vehicle still detained in his back seat. Less than an hour later, employees state that Calkins had come back to the scene and moved the vehicle from its original place to a spot on the side of the road. His keys were ultimately found on the ground beside the vehicle when the tow company arrived to pick it up. The Williams family became confused as to why the cemetery employees saw Calkins leave with Terrance in the back of his car, but Calkins never filed an incident report on the encounter. Upon contacting the police department to speak with Calkins, he claimed to have no memory of making an arrest or any cars being towed on the evening that Terrance went missing. A few days later, however, he was able to recollect his contact with Terrance that evening and was asked to submit an incident report about the encounter. According to the report, Calkins claimed that he first came in contact with the vehicle around 12:15 a.m. after witnessing some distress in the way that it was being driven. He states he followed the vehicle into a parking lot where the driver had asked for a ride to the Circle K nearby as he was late for work. According to Calkins, he gave the driver a ride to the Circle K with the deal that he could go back to the vehicle and obtain the proper documentation needed for the tow. But Calkins claims that when he arrived back at the vehicle, he was unable to find the paperwork that was supposed to be in the glove box, and he felt like the driver had deceived him. Calkins states he then contacted the Circle K and asked to speak with Terrance in hopes of a miscommunication, but was informed by Circle K employees that a Terrance didn't work there. According to the report, Calkins claims that he then called in the license plate to dispatch and found out that the plates were expired and requested for the vehicle to be towed. Calkins states that he drove back to the Circle K in hopes of locating Terrance, but was unable to find him and ultimately had to move on due to receiving another assignment. However, as police began pulling Calkins' phone records, along with the surveillance from the Circle K, they find that most of his story could not be confirmed. There was never a call made from his phone to the Circle K, and there was no sign of Calkins or Terrance found on the surveillance footage from the store either. When police interviewed the employees who were on duty that night, none of them could recall ever seeing Terrance or Calkins, and that no one ever called and asked to speak to an employee that didn't work there. As the Williams family continued to struggle for answers in Terrance's disappearance, they filed a complaint against him in hopes of uncovering the truth about what really happened after he left the cemetery with Terrance in his custody. As of today, 27-year-old Terrance Williams is still missing. Detectives encourage anyone who may have information on Terrance Williams to contact the Collier County Sheriff's Office at 239-252-9300. The Crime Stoppers tip line at 1-800-780-TIPS. That's 1-800-780-8477. Or call the Q Center 24-hour tip line at 910-232-1687.